The massive crystalline doors of the Galactic Council chamber parted silently as Admiral Park, Jiho strode forward, his polished black boots clicking against the marble floor. The chamber stretched upward into a towering dome, its walls adorned with flowing symbols representing the 27-member species. Streams of filtered starlight poured through the transparent ceiling, casting otherworldly patterns across the assembled dignitaries. Commander Kim Hae-yun walked 2 steps behind the Admiral, her keen eyes taking in every detail of the chamber. The council members sat in elevated seats arranged in concentric circles, their various forms, some humanoid, others decidedly not, shrouded in ceremonial robes. The air held the faint scent of alien incense, a complex mixture of sweet and spicy notes that failed to mask the tension in the room. Admiral Park stood tall in his midnight blue Terran uniform, the silver insignia of Earth's combined fleet gleaming on his collar. At 63 years old, his face bore the quiet confidence of someone who had spent decades in space, navigating both the physical and political challenges of humanity's expansion among the stars. The High Speaker of the Council rose from the central podium. Standing nearly 8 feet tall, the Centaurian's iridescent scales shifted colors with each movement, a biological display that many species found intimidating. 4 arms emerged from within their ceremonial robes as they activated the chamber's translation field. Representatives of the Terran Empire, the High Speaker's voice resonated through the chamber, automatically converting to perfect Earth standard. Your presence has been requested to address matters of grave concern to the Galactic Council. Commander Kim noticed the subtle twitching of the High Speaker's secondary breathing gills, a sign of stress that most humans would miss. Her years of xenobiological training were proving invaluable as she cataloged the minor tells displayed by various council members. The rapid expansion of human colonies beyond your designated development zones has not gone unnoticed, the High Speaker continued. In the mere span of 50 Earth years, your species has established presence in 17 star systems. This pace of growth is unprecedented and disturbing. Admiral Park maintained a carefully neutral expression. The Terran Empire has adhered to all established treaties regarding colonial development. Our expansion has been peaceful and focused on uninhabited systems. A rustling of disapproval rippled through the chamber. A representative of the Aldebaran Collective, their crystalline form catching the starlight, spoke next. Your technological advancement curve defies all known models. Species do not progress from planetary civilization to quantum manipulation in less than a century. It is unnatural. Commander Kim suppressed a smile as she detected the fear underlying the Aldebaran statement. The council members were used to measuring progress in millennia, not decades. Humanity's rapid rise had shaken their comfortable assumptions about the natural order of galactic civilization. The High Speaker raised all 4 arms for silence. We have deliberated extensively on this matter. The Council has reached an unanimous decision. They activated a holographic display in the center of the chamber, showing a map of human-controlled space. The Terran Empire will cease all colonial expansion effective immediately. Additionally, you will share your technological developments with the Council for evaluation and controlled distribution. Admiral Park's eyebrow raised slightly, the only outward sign of his reaction. And what is the Council offering in exchange for these significant concessions? This is not a negotiation, Admiral. The High Speaker's scales shifted to a deep purple. These are the terms for your continued participation in galactic society. Furthermore, all human military installations beyond your home system will be subject to Council oversight and inspection. Commander Kim observed the subtle shifts in posture among the Council members. Some leaned forward eagerly, while others drew back slightly, suggesting internal disagreement despite the High Speaker's claim of unanimity. She made mental notes for her report, knowing that these observations could prove crucial in the days ahead. The Council grants you 48 standard hours to begin implementation of these measures, the High Speaker concluded. We trust you understand the significance of compliance. Admiral Park bowed slightly. Exactly the minimum depth required by protocol. No more. The Terran Empire acknowledges receipt of your requests. We will require time to consult with Earth's central government regarding these matters. As they turned to leave the chamber, Commander Kim caught fragments of whispered conversations in various languages. Despite the translation field being inactive, she understood enough to confirm her suspicions. The Council was afraid, not of human aggression, but of human potential. Walking through the vast corridors of the Council station, Admiral Park maintained silence until they reached the secure confines of their shuttle. Only then did he turn to Commander Kim. "Your assessment." "They're terrified, sir," she replied, calling up her notes on a secure tablet. The Centaurian high speaker displayed stress markers throughout the session. The Aldebaran representative's crystalline resonance was far above normal parameters. Even the Proximan delegation, usually the most composed, showed signs of anxiety. Admiral Park nodded slowly. "They've played directly into our predictions. Earth Central will be pleased." He paused, looking out the shuttle's viewport at the massive Council station. "They think they're containing a threat. Instead, they've given us exactly the provocation we needed." Commander Kim reviewed the recorded footage of the session, adding final notes to her analysis. "They have no idea about the quantum shield network, do they, sir?" "No." Admiral Park's lips curved in a slight smile. "Nor about the dark matter fleet. They see what they expect to see. A young species expanding too quickly. Their own arrogance blinds them to the possibility that we might be more prepared than we appear." The shuttle's engines hummed to life as they prepared to return to the Terran flagship waiting at the edge of Council space. Both officers knew that the next 48 hours would reshape the galaxy's balance of power. Humanity had spent decades preparing for this moment, carefully crafting the image of a rapidly growing, but technologically inferior civilization. The Council's ultimatum wasn't a threat to human expansion. It was the signal they had been waiting for. As their shuttle accelerated away from the station, Admiral Park and Commander Kim began composing their reports to Earth Central, knowing that Operation Thunderbolt would soon be authorized. The Council had made their move, believing they held all the cards. Soon they would learn that humanity had been playing a much longer game, and their ultimatum had just triggered the first phase of a plan generations in the making. General Lee Do-hyun stood before the massive holographic display in Terra Prime Station's command center, his weathered face illuminated by the soft blue glow of countless stellar coordinates. The secure facility, buried deep within Earth's moon, served as humanity's true military headquarters, a fact known to fewer than 100 people in the galaxy. The latest encrypted reports scrolled across his neural interface, each one confirming that humanity's careful deception remained intact. For over 50 years, Earth had maintained a brilliant facade, appearing to stumble through technological advancement like an eager but inexperienced species, while secretly mastering forces the Council believed were centuries beyond human understanding. Status report on the Arcturus fleet. Captain Choi. General Lee spoke into the encrypted channel, his voice carrying across light years through quantum entanglement communications, another technology the Council thought impossible for humans to possess. Captain Choi Mi-Ray's holographic form materialized beside him, her stealth fleet's advanced cloaking systems keeping them hidden in plain sight among the Arcturus sector's asteroid fields. All ships maintaining position, General. Council patrol vessels passed within 1,000 kilometers of our location 3 hours ago. They detected nothing. The General allowed himself a small smile. The Council's sensors were searching for conventional engine signatures and energy emissions. They had no way to detect ships powered by contained dark matter reactions. It was like trying to find a submarine by looking for ripples on the ocean's surface. The Council delivered their ultimatum exactly as predicted, General Lee said, manipulating the holographic display to show the position of every hidden human fleet throughout the galaxy. Admiral Park and Commander Kim are returning with the official demands now. Captain Choi's hologram nodded, her expression serious. Operation Thunderbolt remains on schedule then. Indeed. General Lee brought up another display, showing the status of Earth's quantum shield network. Thousands of seemingly inactive satellites orbited strategic points throughout human space. To Council observers, they appeared to be simple communication relays or defunct equipment. In reality, each one contained enough power to generate defensive fields that could withstand the energy of a small sun. A soft chime indicated another incoming transmission. General, Lieutenant Song reporting from Installation Deep Echo. A young officer's hologram appeared, representing one of the many hidden research facilities scattered across human space. The final tests of the mass driver array are complete, all systems performing beyond specified parameters. General Lee acknowledged the report, adding it to the growing list of ready assets. Humanity's carefully orchestrated plan had required immense patience, while the Council watched Earth's obvious military installations and conventional fleets. The real power of the Terran Empire had grown in shadow. Captain Choi, begin silent deployment of Phase 2 units, the General ordered. Maintain full cloak and use only quantum comm for coordination. Understood, sir. Moving Ghost Fleet into position. The holographic display updated, showing hundreds of stealth ships slowly spreading out across Council space. Each vessel carried weapons that the Council's scientists had deemed theoretically impossible. Humanity had not only proven those theories possible, but had perfected them into practical weapons while maintaining their image of technological inferiority. Another figure materialized in the command center, Dr. Kang Sunmai, head of Earth's Quantum Mechanics Division. General, the Council's latest scan of our research facilities just completed. They continue to see exactly what we want them to see. Excellent. General Lee had worked with Dr. Kang for over 20 years, watching as she helped develop technologies that would revolutionize warfare. Their own preconceptions are our best camouflage. The Council's scientists saw human quantum research facilities as primitive attempts to understand basic principles. They had no idea that the seemingly simple experiments were actually cover for much more advanced work. Every failed test and accident had been carefully staged to reinforce their belief in human technological limitations. Sir, Captain Choi's hologram interrupted. We're detecting increased Council fleet movement in the Rigel sector. They appear to be mobilizing for their peacekeeping operation. General Lee studied the tactical display. The Council's ships were moving exactly according to predicted patterns. Their military doctrine hadn't changed in 10,000 years. They saw no reason to change what had always worked against younger civilizations. Let them come, the General said softly. Every ship they commit to this operation is one more that will witness the truth of human capability. Dr. Kang, begin powering up the quantum shield network. Use minimal energy signatures only. Captain Choi, maintain your position, but begin charging dark matter cores. The command center hummed with controlled activity as orders were relayed through quantum channels to human forces throughout the galaxy. Decades of preparation were about to bear fruit. The Council thought they were dealing with an upstart species that needed to be contained. They were about to discover that humanity had surpassed them long ago. One final thing. General Lee addressed his assembled officers. Remember that our goal is not destruction. When the Council's forces arrive, we demonstrate our strength but show restraint. Earth's position in the galaxy will be secured not through devastation, but through the precise application of overwhelming technological superiority. As the officers acknowledged his orders, General Lee turned back to the galactic display. Somewhere out there, Admiral Park's ship was returning with the Council's ultimatum, the document that would unknowingly authorize their own obsolescence. Humanity had spent 50 years preparing for this moment, and not a single Council member suspected what was about to unfold. The pieces were in place. The game board was set, and humanity was about to reveal that they had been playing a completely different game all along. The massive Centaurian flagship, Star Ascendant, emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system, followed by a fleet of 300 warships. Their sleek hulls gleamed in the distant sunlight as they formed into attack positions. On the bridge of the Star Ascendant, Fleet Commander Vax watched the tactical display with satisfaction. The humans had ignored the Council's ultimatum. just as expected. Commander Song Tawu observed the Council fleet's arrival from his command post on Defense Platform Alpha, one of dozens of massive structures that had remained invisible to alien sensors for years. He waited calmly as the enemy ships moved closer, their formation displaying complete confidence in their technological superiority. "All defense grid stations report ready, Commander," Lieutenant Park announced from her station. "Quantum shields at full charge. Targeting systems locked." Commander Song nodded, watching the Council fleet approach the outer defense perimeter. "Let them come a bit closer. Let them think they've caught us unprepared." The Council ships advanced in textbook formation, their energy weapons powering up for what they assumed would be a swift demonstration of force. Their sensors showed only a scattered collection of primitive defensive satellites and a few outdated patrol ships, exactly what they had expected to find. Receiving transmission from the Council flagship, Lieutenant Park reported. "They're demanding our immediate surrender and compliance with their ultimatum." "Send no response," Commander Song ordered. "Maintain radio silence until they cross the Jupiter orbit line." The Council fleet pressed forward, interpreting the lack of response as fear or confusion. Their tactical officers reported no significant defensive measures, no energy buildups, no signs that Earth was preparing to resist their overwhelming force. They were wrong. As the first Council ships crossed the designated line, Commander Song gave the order that humanity had waited decades to deliver. "Activate the quantum shield network. All platforms decloak. Show them what they're really facing." Space itself seemed to ripple as dozens of massive defense platforms shed their quantum camouflage. Each platform was larger than the biggest Council warship, bristling with weapon systems that no young civilization should possess. A web of energy fields sprang to life between the platforms, creating an impenetrable barrier around Earth's solar system. On the Star Ascendance Bridge, Fleet Commander Vax stared in disbelief as his tactical display transformed. Where moments ago there had been empty space, now a vast defensive network appeared. "Impossible," he whispered. "Their technology is decades behind this level." "Council vessels," Commander Song's voice boomed across all frequencies. "You have entered restricted space. Your weapons are meaningless against our quantum shields. Your sensors are blind to our true capabilities. You have been deceived not by our lies, but by your own assumptions." The Council fleet's neat formation began to waver as ship captains realized the situation. Their most powerful weapons couldn't penetrate quantum shields, technology they thought humanity was centuries away from developing. Their sensors, finally penetrating Earth's deception, revealed weapon systems that shouldn't exist. "This is your only warning," Commander Song continued. "Withdraw your fleet immediately, or we will demonstrate exactly how outmatched you are." Fleet Commander Vax hesitated, his mandibles clicking in agitation. The humans couldn't possibly. His thoughts were interrupted as one of the defense platforms fired a precisely targeted quantum beam. The energy burst passed through his flagship's shields as if they didn't exist, carefully slicing off a small, non-critical section of the hull. That shot, Commander Song's voice carried a note of satisfaction, was delivered with exactly 1% of the platform's power capacity. "We have 36 such platforms currently targeting your vessel. The next demonstration will not be so gentle." Chaos erupted across the Council fleet as ships began breaking formation. Their carefully planned show of force had transformed into a potential disaster. They had expected to find a primitive defense network they could easily overwhelm. Instead, they faced weapons that could bypass their strongest shields and defensive systems far beyond their own capabilities. Commander Song watched calmly as the Council fleet fell into disarray. "Lieutenant Park, activate the secondary defense grid. Let them see exactly what they're dealing with." Another layer of platforms decloaked, these positioned behind the Council fleet, effectively surrounding them. Each platform powered up its weapon systems, targeting locks appearing on every Council vessel. Receiving multiple surrender signals, Lieutenant Park reported, trying to hide a smile. "The Council fleet is requesting permission to withdraw." "Permission granted," Commander Song replied. "Open a corridor through the quantum shield network. Let them return to the Council and report what they've seen here today." The Council ships fled in barely organized groups, their retreat far less dignified than their arrival had been. As they vanished into hyperspace, Commander Song opened a channel to Earth Command. "Defense grid tests successful," he reported. "The Council's forces performed exactly as predicted. They never suspected our true capabilities until it was too late." "Excellent work, Commander." General Lee's voice came through clearly. "Phase 3 of Operation Thunderbolt can now begin. The Council fought to teach us a lesson about our place in the galaxy. Instead, they've learned one about underestimating their opponents." As the last Council ship disappeared from sensors, Commander Song allowed himself a small smile. Humanity had just revealed a fraction of its true power, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Council's ultimatum had failed, and their attempt at intimidation had backfired spectacularly. Now the real changes would begin. Admiral Park stood on the bridge of the TSS Invincible, watching as hundreds of stealth ships materialized from their quantum cloaks across human-controlled space. The Council's failed attack on Earth had triggered humanity's coordinated response, launching Operation Thunderbolt into its most critical phase. "All fleet commanders report ready, Admiral," his communications officer announced. "Strike teams in position across all 12 target sectors." The Admiral nodded, his eyes fixed on the tactical display showing Council space. "Begin synchronized attacks. Transmit authorization code. Thunder Alpha Strike." Captain Kang Jia's stealth fleet decloaked within striking distance of the Council's Rigel military base. Her flagship, the TSS Silent Dawn, had been waiting in position for weeks, gathering intelligence and preparing for this moment. "All ships maintain quantum shields at maximum," Captain Kang ordered. "Target only military installations. Avoid civilian casualties at all costs." Her crew worked with practiced efficiency, their years of training finally being put to use. The Council's defensive systems barely had time to register the threat before the human ships opened fire. Advanced quantum beams sliced through their shields like paper, precisely disabling weapon emplacements and communication arrays. Captain Kang watched with satisfaction as panic spread through the enemy ranks. Meanwhile, Major Yoon Min-ho led his special operations team through the shadows of the Council's primary communications hub. Their quantum phase suits rendered them completely invisible to Council security systems. "Team 2, begin system override," Major Yoon whispered into his neural comm. "Team 3, secure the auxiliary control room. Remember, minimal force. We're here to disable, not destroy." His operators moved like ghosts through the facility, using technology that the Council had dismissed as theoretical. Each team carried quantum disruption devices that could shut down Council systems without causing permanent damage. Back on the TSS Invincible, Admiral Park received real-time updates from all strike teams. Captain Kang reports Rigel installation secured. Major Yoon's team has disabled the primary communication hub. Similar successes reported in sectors 3 through 12. The Council's response was fragmented and confused. Their fleets scrambled to defend against attacks appearing simultaneously across their territory, but their ships were helpless against human quantum weapons. Each engagement ended the same way: precise strikes that disabled rather than destroyed, demonstrating humanity's overwhelming technological superiority. "Sir," his tactical officer called out, "Council forces are attempting to regroup in the Proxima sector. They're trying to form a counterattack." Admiral Park studied the tactical display. "Captain Kang, move your fleet to intercept. Show them our full capabilities. But remember, we're making a point, not starting a war." Captain Kang's fleet engaged the Council forces near Proxima Centauri. The Council ships fired their most powerful weapons, only to watch in disbelief as the quantum shields absorbed everything they could throw at them. The human response was measured but devastating. Precision strikes that left Council ships dead in space, but largely intact. "Council vessel commanders, Captain Kang broadcast on all frequencies. Your weapons cannot harm us. Your shields cannot stop us. Power down your systems and prepare to be boarded. This is not a negotiation. Major Yoon's teams worked with similar efficiency across Council space. Communication hubs fell silent one by one, their advanced systems overwhelmed by human quantum technology. The Council's command and control network, developed over thousands of years, was systematically dismantled in a matter of hours. Admiral, the communications officer reported, we're receiving surrender signals from multiple Council installations. They're requesting terms. Admiral Park allowed himself a small smile. Transmit the prepared terms. Make sure they understand. This is not about conquest. This is about establishing a new balance. The Council's military leadership, long accustomed to technological supremacy, struggled to comprehend their situation. Their most advanced sensors couldn't penetrate human quantum shields. Their strongest weapons were useless against human ships. Their secret communications were an open book to human intelligence. Captain Kang's voice came through the command channel. Ridgel Sector fully secured, Admiral. Council forces have powered down as ordered. Beginning installation of monitoring systems. Excellent work, Captain, Admiral Park replied. Major Yoon, status report. All primary communication hubs under our control, the Major responded. Council encryption codes acquired. We can monitor and control all their military communications. The operation continued with mechanical precision. Each human fleet executed its assigned tasks flawlessly, demonstrating capabilities that shocked and terrified Council forces. Ships that had been hidden for years revealed themselves, showing that humanity had long been operating undetected in the heart of Council space. Admiral Park opened a channel to Earth Command. Operation Thunderbolt proceeding as planned. The Council's military response has been contained. Their command structure is isolated. We await further instructions. Well done, Admiral. General Lee's voice came through clearly. The Council's leadership is requesting an emergency session. It seems they're finally ready to talk on equal terms. As reports of success continued to flood in, Admiral Park thought about the decades of preparation that had led to this moment. The Council had forced humanity's hand, never realizing they were dealing with a civilization that had surpassed them long ago. All fleet commanders, he broadcast, maintain current positions. Secure your sectors, but remember our objectives. This is not about revenge or dominance. This is about reshaping the galaxy into something better, for everyone. The stars looked different now, he thought. The galaxy's balance of power had shifted in a single day, not through destruction, but through the precise application of overwhelming technological superiority. The Council's carefully maintained image of supremacy had crumbled, and a new era was about to begin. Ambassador Han Soo-jin walked through the newly established diplomatic center on Luna Station, her steps measured and graceful despite the low gravity. The past week had transformed the galaxy's political landscape, and now came the delicate work of reshaping alliances. Ambassador, the Arcturus delegation has arrived, her aide reported quietly. They're waiting in the blue conference room. Colonel Ba's latest intelligence packet is ready for your review. Han nodded, pausing to check her reflection in a polished wall panel. Her traditional Korean hanbok, modified for spacewear, made a deliberate statement. Earth's diplomats honored their heritage while embracing the future. The Arcturus representatives rose as she entered the conference room. Their crystalline forms caught the light, creating rainbow patterns across the walls. Once among the Council's strongest supporters, they were now among the first to seek separate negotiations with Earth. Honorable delegates, Han greeted them warmly. Thank you for accepting our invitation. She gestured to the comfortable seats designed to accommodate various alien physiologies. Shall we begin? Colonel Ba In-soo's hologram materialized discreetly in the corner, visible only to Han through her neural interface. He would monitor the meeting, providing real-time intelligence as needed. Ambassador Han, the lead Arcturus delegate's translator, conveyed their musical speech. Recent events have caused us to reevaluate our position within the council structure. Han smiled gently. Of course, the galaxy changes, and wisdom lies in adapting to those changes. She activated a holographic display showing trade routes through Arcturus space. Perhaps we should discuss how those changes might benefit your people. Colonel Ba's Cyber Warfare Division had spent years gathering intelligence on the Council's inner workings. Now that information became a powerful diplomatic tool. As Han spoke with the Arcturus delegation, she carefully revealed select pieces of data showing how the Council's leadership had manipulated trade agreements to their advantage. These shipping manifests, she displayed another hologram, suggest your people have been paying significantly inflated rates for quantum drive components, components that Earth can now provide directly, at a fraction of the cost. The Arcturus delegates' crystalline forms vibrated with surprise and anger as they reviewed the evidence. Centuries of council manipulation became clear through the carefully presented data. Meanwhile, in other conference rooms throughout Luna Station, similar scenes played out. Species that had long accepted council authority began to see the truth behind their supposed benefactors' actions. Colonel Ba's hologram updated Han's neural feed. Ambassador, the Proximan delegation has just requested an immediate meeting. Our leak about the Council's suppression of their genetic research appears to have hit home. Han acknowledged the message with a subtle gesture. The Colonel's cyber warfare teams had done brilliant work, uncovering decades of Council secrets. Each revelation was carefully timed and targeted, showing different species exactly how the Council had held them back. Earth seeks partnership, not dominance, Han told the Arcturus delegates. We believe in fair trade, open scientific exchange, and mutual defense. The Council's time of unchecked authority is ending, but something better can take its place. The delegates' crystalline forms harmonized in agreement, a sign of positive emotional response. Their people had always valued honest trade, and Earth's demonstration of both power and restraint had impressed them deeply. As the meeting concluded, Han received another update from Colonel Ba. The Centaurian inner circle is fracturing. 3 of their high commanders have reached out through back channels, wanting to discuss terms. The ambassador allowed herself a small smile as she walked to her next meeting. The Council's carefully maintained power structure was unraveling not through force, but through the simple exposure of truth. In her private office between meetings, Han reviewed Colonel Ba's latest intelligence summaries. The Cyber Warfare Division had mapped the entire network of Council corruption, showing how a small group had maintained power by playing species against each other. Your next meeting is with the Rigel delegation, her aide announced. They're particularly interested in our quantum shield technology. Han nodded, preparing her notes. Earth's policy was clear. They would share defensive technology widely while carefully controlling weapons advances. Breaking the Council's monopoly on advanced technology would prevent any single group from dominating others again. The diplomatic dance continued for days. Each meeting revealed more of the Council's manipulation, while offering a path to a more balanced future. Species that had competed for centuries began to see the benefits of cooperation under Earth's new paradigm. Colonel, Han spoke to Ba's hologram during a brief break. How are the Council leaders responding to their changing situation? They're beginning to understand, they replied with satisfaction. Our last intelligence intercept showed them discussing terms of surrender, though they're calling it a transitional power arrangement to save face. Han understood the importance of allowing the Council leadership to maintain dignity even as their power crumbled. A peaceful transition would benefit everyone, and Earth had no desire to humiliate their former adversaries. The galaxy is changing faster than anyone expected, she mused, watching ships move through Luna's space lanes. But change brings opportunity. The next weeks would be crucial as new alliances formed and old power structures reformed. But Han was confident in Earth's position. They had proven their strength through restraint, their wisdom through fairness, and their leadership through truth. As she prepared for another round of meetings, Han reflected on humanity's journey. From a single world to a force that reshaped galactic politics, all because they had chosen wisdom over war, truth over power, and cooperation over dominance. The diplomatic dance would continue, each step carefully measured, each movement precisely planned. But the music had changed, and the galaxy would never be the same. Lieutenant Oh Hyunwoo stood in the dimly lit intelligence center aboard the TSS Revelation, his eyes fixed on streams of decoded council data flowing across multiple screens. After months of careful analysis, the final pieces of the puzzle were falling into place. "Sir, you need to see this," Analyst Kim called from her station. "We've decrypted the Council's private archives. The truth about their actions toward Earth, it's not what anyone expected." The lieutenant moved to her station, scanning the translated documents. His eyes widened as he read through centuries of secret council deliberations about humanity. The evidence painted a clear picture, one that changed everything they thought they knew about the council's motivations. "Contact Admiral Park immediately," he ordered. "This information changes our entire understanding of the situation." The council's capital station loomed ahead of the Terran fleet, its massive form reflecting the light of 3 suns. Inside the station's secure archives, Lieutenant Oh's team had discovered the truth behind decades of council hostility toward Earth. "Lieutenant, your report." Admiral Park's hologram materialized in the intelligence center. "Sir, the council's actions weren't driven by arrogance or tradition," Oh explained, displaying key documents. "They were driven by fear. Not fear of our weapons or our expansion, but fear of something far more fundamental, our ability to adapt and change." The evidence was clear in the Council's own words. Reports spanning centuries showed their growing concern as they watched humanity progress faster than any species they had encountered. Where other races took thousands of years to advance, humans made similar progress in decades. "Look at these psychological assessments." Oh highlighted another document. The Council's scientists identified something unique in human thinking: our ability to question established knowledge, to imagine new possibilities, to constantly seek improvement. Admiral Park studied the data carefully. They saw this as a threat. More than that, sir. They saw it as a fundamental challenge to the galactic order they had maintained for millennia. Oh brought up more files. The Council species advance through careful, methodical steps. They build on existing knowledge. Humans, we leap forward through intuitive connections and creative thinking. The intelligence team had uncovered studies showing how the Council watched in growing alarm as humanity tackled problems in unexpected ways. While Council scientists worked methodically through established procedures, human researchers made intuitive leaps that led to breakthrough discoveries. Their ultimatum wasn't about controlling our expansion, Oh continued. It was a desperate attempt to contain what they saw as a dangerous anomaly, a species that could imagine and achieve things they couldn't even conceive of. The evidence showed years of Council debate about how to handle the human problem. Some had advocated for immediate military action. Others had pushed for subtle manipulation to slow human development. In the end, fear had driven them to their failed ultimatum. "There's more, sir." Oh brought up another set of files. The Council's inner circle kept this hidden from their own people. Many Council species would have welcomed human innovation. The leadership feared losing control if others saw there was a different way to progress. Admiral Park's hologram nodded slowly. So their entire power structure was built on controlling the flow of knowledge and technology. No wonder they feared a species that could create new knowledge independently. The intelligence center hummed with activity as Oh's team continued analyzing the vast archive of Council secrets. Each new discovery reinforced their findings. The Council's actions had been driven by a deep-seated fear of change itself. "Sir, we're detecting unusual activity in the Council station," a sensor operator reported. They're opening their secure docks. No resistance detected." Lieutenant Oh checked his latest intelligence updates. "The Council leadership appears to be standing down, Admiral. I believe they've realized their worst fear has come true. The galaxy has seen that their way isn't the only way forward." The documents revealed a civilization that had sacrificed progress for stability, innovation for control. The Council had maintained power not through superior technology or wisdom, but by carefully managing the development of other species to match their own methodical pace. Humanity didn't just prove we were more advanced. O explained to his team. We proved there was an entirely different way to advance. Our greatest threat to them wasn't our weapons, it was our ideas. Admiral Park's hologram smiled slightly. Prepare a full report, Lieutenant. The Council leadership will need to understand that we know the truth before negotiations can begin. A new age is starting, and they'll need to adapt, just as we have always done. As the Terran fleet moved into position around the Council station, Lieutenant O reflected on the irony of the situation. The Council had tried to contain humanity's potential for change, only to become the catalyst for the greatest change the galaxy had ever seen. Sir, an analyst called out, we're receiving transmissions from multiple Council species. They're requesting access to the archive data. They want to see the truth for themselves. O nodded in approval. Release the files through secure channels. Let everyone see what we've discovered. The time for secrets is over. The revelation spread through Council space like a wave, changing everything in its path. Species that had accepted the Council's guidance for millennia began to question, to wonder, to imagine new possibilities. Humanity had shown them that progress didn't have to be slow and controlled. It could be dynamic, creative, and free. The Council's greatest fear had come true, but not in the way they had expected. Humanity's gift to the galaxy wasn't chaos or destruction, but the simple, powerful idea that there was always another way forward for those brave enough to imagine it. Sunlight streamed through the crystal dome of the new Galactic Confederation headquarters, casting rainbow patterns across the assembled delegates. Admiral Park and Ambassador Han stood side by side as representatives from hundreds of species gathered for the historic first session of the reformed galactic government. Commander Kim watched from her position near the main platform, remembering the tense days that had led to this moment. The transition from the old Council to the Confederation had been swift but peaceful, guided by humanity's firm but gentle hand. Today marks not an ending, but a beginning. Ambassador Han addressed the assembly, her voice carrying clearly through the universal translators. The Confederation stands for cooperation, not control. For progress through sharing, not progress through restriction. The gathered delegates represented a stunning array of life forms, crystalline beings, energy matrices, humanoids, and species that defied easy description. All had chosen to join the new order, drawn by Earth's demonstration of both power and wisdom. Admiral Park stepped forward to present the Confederation's founding principles. Our strength lies not in domination, but in unity. Each species brings unique gifts to our shared future. Earth pledges to share its advances in quantum mechanics and dark matter manipulation, while respecting the sovereign rights of all members. Commander Kim observed the positive reactions among the delegates. The fear that had marked earlier interactions with Earth had been replaced by genuine respect and curiosity. Humanity's restraint during the brief conflict had earned them trust that mere power never could. In the weeks that followed, the changes became visible throughout known space. Earth's advanced technology began flowing to other worlds, but always with careful oversight and training. The Confederation's primary goal was to lift all species while preventing the weaponization of shared knowledge. The quantum shield networks are being installed in the Arcturus sector, a technical advisor reported during one session. Their scientists are already suggesting improvements based on their crystalline technology. This is exactly the kind of cooperation we hoped for. The former Council species, freed from artificial restrictions on their development, showed remarkable creativity. Advances that would have taken centuries under the old system now happened in years as different races combined their unique perspectives and abilities. Commander Kim walked through the new exchange center, where scientists from hundreds of worlds shared ideas freely. The old Council's fear of rapid progress had given way to excitement about new possibilities. Earth's example had shown that innovation didn't have to mean chaos. It's amazing how quickly things have changed, she remarked to Admiral Park during a quiet moment. Not just the technology, but the way different species interact now. The Admiral nodded, watching a group of younger diplomats from various worlds engaged in animated discussion. We showed them a better way. Not through force, but by example. That's always been humanity's real strength. The ability to imagine a better future and work toward it. The Confederation grew stronger each day as more worlds joined, attracted by the promise of genuine partnership. Earth's defense forces remained vigilant, but their role had shifted from warriors to guardians, ensuring the peace needed for progress to flourish. Ambassador Han's diplomatic corps worked tirelessly to smooth relationships between species that had been rivals under the old council. Ancient grudges began to fade as shared projects created new bonds of understanding and respect. In her private moments, Commander Kim often reflected on how far they had come. The humans who first ventured into space could never have imagined their descendants would help reshape galactic civilization. Yet here they were, not conquerors but guides, helping all species reach their full potential. The key was balance. Admiral Park explained to a group of new Confederation officers. Power without wisdom leads to destruction. Wisdom without strength cannot protect progress. Earth found the middle path, and now we help others do the same. The Confederation's success proved infectious. Species that had remained neutral during the transition now approached Earth's ambassadors, seeking membership. Each new addition brought unique perspectives and abilities to the growing alliance. We're tracking scientific advances at unprecedented rates, a research coordinator reported during a session. The combination of different species' approaches to problems is producing breakthrough after breakthrough. Yet amid all the progress, Earth's leaders remembered the lessons that had brought them here. Security protocols remained strong, ensuring that advanced technology couldn't be misused. The Confederation's peacekeeping forces, drawn from all member species, stood ready to protect the new order. Balance in all things became the unofficial motto of the new government. Power balanced with restraint, progress balanced with stability, unity balanced with independence. The principles that had guided Earth's rise now guided the galaxy's transformation. The Great Chamber of the Confederation headquarters became a symbol of this new age. Species that once would have never met now worked together daily, sharing knowledge and solving challenges that had once seemed insurmountable. Commander Kim stood at a viewport one evening, watching ships from 100 worlds move through the space lanes. The galaxy had changed more in months than it had in millennia under the Council. Yet this change had brought not chaos but harmony, not fear but hope. Earth's journey from a single world to a guiding force in galactic civilization had been extraordinary. But its greatest achievement wasn't in its power or technology. It was in showing that progress didn't require conflict, that advancement didn't demand domination. The stars seemed brighter now, Commander Kim thought, as if reflecting the hope of countless worlds working together toward a better future. Humanity had found its place not as conquerors or rulers, but as teachers and guides, helping all species reach for the stars in their own way. The dawn of a new age had truly begun.